I'm so excited that August is just around the corner, and for North Florida gardeners, it's basically like we're getting a second spring. Tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants, even cucumbers are back on our planting list. Today I'll show you the 7 heavy hitters that I am planting back in my garden this August, and why you don't want to miss this planting window. Before we get started, if you have any North Florida gardening buddies or any Florida gardening friends in general, make sure to share this video with them. That's the only way that our community grows and we get to chat with more gardeners just like you and me. Let's get into it. Starting off at number 1 on our heavy hitter list for this August is tomatoes. Tomatoes were technically back on our list in July, but I don't know about you, I did not have my transplants ready and it just felt so darn hot that I wasn't ready to get out there and tend to those new transplants every single day. So now we can get excited about our tomatoes. I'm going to put mine in the ground around August 1st this year. Rather than starting your tomatoes from seed in your gardens come August 1st, I really recommend starting from transplants so you can have a longer harvest before we get that first frost. If you're planting those indeterminate varieties, make sure you have some sort of plan for how to support those plants because they get big very fast. This year I'm focusing on my San Marzano tomatoes, which are a true paste tomato to hopefully make some great sauces over the winter. Number 2 on our list is peppers. Peppers love our heat, but again, like any other transplant, when you put them in the garden, make sure you tend to them until they can get established. This year, I'm going to be planting my banana peppers, chili peppers, and cool pino varieties. If you let them and take care of them properly, peppers can also get huge down here and they can live for several years. They are not frost tolerant, so if you want to be able to keep those peppers until next year, next spring and next fall, and maybe even the years after that, either put them in a place where you can cover them with a frost cloth whenever we get those cold nights, or plant them in a really large pot that you're willing to move closer to the house or to put into the garage for those frosts. And if you've been able to keep your peppers going from the spring, don't worry if they're not producing fruit right now. The humidity makes it really hard for our tomatoes and our peppers to set fruit because that pollen is so darn sticky. Wait until our temperatures cool down just a little bit and they will come back bigger than ever. Number 3 on our list is eggplant. I had no idea how much I actually liked eggplant until I started growing it in my own garden. Similar to our tomatoes and our peppers down here, eggplants can get huge. So make sure you plant them at a spot in your garden where you are ready for them to take up a lot of space once that canopy grows. There are a ton of beautiful eggplant varieties out there if you're interested in growing something a little bit special. But I grow a traditional purple eggplant, similar to our tomatoes and our peppers. Start these guys from transplants whenever possible because it just gives you that much more time to get that harvest in. Number 4 on our list is a surprising crop for some of us. It is cucumbers. So here in North Florida, we actually can start another round of cucumbers for the fall. They aren't only a spring crop. I've had great luck this year with my cucumbers. I haven't had any pickle worms. Not looking to jinx myself, but so far so good. So I'm actually going to try to keep my cucumbers from the spring going into the fall and then start a new round of cucumbers right over here in this bed behind those crazy marigolds. The cucumbers that are still going from spring are a Suyo long cucumber, which was a new variety for me this year. It's supposed to be really heat tolerant and like our summers down here, and it truly has survived. So there you go. And then the other variety is just a classic cucumber that my son brought home from VPK. But in this bed over here, I'm going to be trying another new type of cucumber called Armenian cucumbers. It's actually in the melon family, so those are sprouting inside. We planted those together last week during my video, and they're popping up now. So I'll give them a little bit more time, and then we'll get those babies in the ground probably around August 1st. When it comes to trellising for your cucumbers, I don't have a ton of space in my backyard. So what I have started doing is trellising between the beds. You can see here, this is just ladder mesh from Home Depot or Lowe's. I take 3 of them to fill up my 2-foot wide bed there. And then on the other end, it's kind of hard to see without plants growing on it, but this is just extra cattle panel that we had that my husband put some supports in. And that's what my cucumbers have done great on this year. So it's one way that I'm maximizing our smaller space here to still grow the things that I want to grow. Number 5 on our list is kale. I'm excited to have all those traditional greens starting to be able to come back into our outdoor gardens. I don't know about you all, but there's been a bacteria growing around that's been causing a lot of GI issues when it comes to lettuce. And my happy accident of planting my kale and my lettuce inside probably a bit too early has been such a blessing because we haven't had to go buy any lettuce from the store or any kale. I just keep sourcing what we need from the leaves that I have growing in the seed closet. So I think that might be a staple for me from now on, to always have some kale seeds and lettuce seeds growing inside. But it will be really nice come August 1st to be able to move those kale plants outside and give them space to get even bigger. The varieties I'm trying this fall is a blue dwarf kale. Traditionally, it says to plant kale at 1 plant per square foot. Since it's a dwarf kale variety, I might try to do 2 in a square just to see how it does. Number 6 on our list is carrots. I can't believe that we can already start putting carrots back into the grounds. It just feels so hot for me still here, but UF Extension does say that we can start planting carrot seeds in August, so I am going to plant a few. If you guys have been following along so far, you know that consistently watering is not my strong suit. That's why I have my garden grids and I got the in-ground watering that I can just hook up to my hose. These bugs are relentless today. But watering consistently is not my strong suit. So with my carrot seeds, I've struggled with them in the past because you do have to keep them consistently moist on the top of your soil there for 7 to 14 days. And that's really tough, especially in this heat. So I have 2 strategies that I'm going to try with that this year. The first strategy is I have some sweet potatoes growing over in this bed that I've let vine out over the soil to cover the soil with a little bit more shade. I'm going to try to plant some of my carrot seeds under that canopy so they can hopefully stay a little bit more moist for those first 7 to 14 days. The second thing I'm going to try that has actually worked the best for me this past spring is planting my carrot seeds in my earth boxes. And it makes sense that they would do better in the earth boxes. If you're not familiar with earth boxes, so it's basically this like plastic container, but the entire bottom of it is a water reservoir that the soil can draw from up the sides. So I planted my carrot seeds in that because that was the only space I had available, but I really think that it worked out well because it was able to keep those seeds consistently moist since that soil is always consistently moist. And I had the best carrot harvest that I have had ever trying to grow between my raised beds and my earth boxes. So I'm going to try that again this year. And last but not least, number 7 on our list of crops that we can get into the ground this August is our squashes. We just have a 1-month window where we can get some more of those squash seeds in the ground. For me, I'm going to be planting some zucchini plants, some Black Beauty zucchinis that didn't do very well for me in the spring. I'm going to try them as well in some of my earth boxes so they can have that consistent moisture to see if that's been my problem. If you all have any zucchini tips, let me know. People say that it's like the easiest thing in the world to grow, and for some reason I cannot grow zucchini or yellow squash to save my life. So any tips, let me know and I will definitely try them. Don't forget to top up your soil for these new plants. They're going to need food to grow throughout this fall season. Add about 1 inch of compost and sprinkled with worm castings to your soil and top it up with mulch after you have planted your plants. It's also a great time to check your irrigation system to make sure all of your emitters are working and everything is placed exactly where you needed it to. And I also go around and adjust my garden in minutes grid to make sure that all of the holes are pointing towards the middle of the box where they're supposed to be. If you'd prefer all of this information to be printed out, something you can hold, I'm a paper person. I have a seasonal growing guide down in the description below, and it'll give you the list of what to plant for every single month throughout the year, grouped by seasons, how many plants to plant in each square, and gives you some example layouts as well. Don't forget to share this video with your favorite Florida gardening buddy, and I'll see you in the next one.